This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
Good evening. President Clinton is cranking up the possibility of economic retaliation in what could become a trade war with Japan.
At issue, Japan's continued refusal to open up its markets to goods made in the USA. Tonight, the Clinton administration may be poised to retaliate against what Japan sells over here. White House correspondent Rita Braver reports on the ratcheting up of the political and economic stakes.
Administration officials say tomorrow the U.S. is expected to formally accuse Japan of unfair trade practices against Motorola cellular phones and begin a process that could ultimately lead to higher tariffs here on a variety of Japanese products.
It is a good illustration of the problem we face in entering the Japanese market.
The White House says it's just coincidental that the deadline for action on the phone issue came just as the U.S.-Japan negotiations on a variety of trade issues fell apart last week. But there were White House meetings today to discuss even broader sanctions against the Japanese. Could it be the start of a trade war?
It could be, but I think they would have to think long and hard about it. I mean, after all, with all the Japanese investment in this country and all the jobs that are here, and with all the trade we have in Japan, they still have a built-in trade surplus of tens of billions of dollars.
And though the troubles with the U.S. pushed up the Japanese yen against the dollar today, which could hurt the already troubled Japanese economy, the Japanese government is taking a low-key approach, saying only that it would likely protest any U.S. actions to the International Trade Tribunal. Administration officials say they expect to announce more actions against the Japanese within the next week. They want to scare Japan, but acknowledge they must be careful about measures that would raise prices for U.S. consumers of Japanese goods. Rita Braver, CBS News at the White House.
In Sarajevo, a fragile ceasefire held for another day. The United States, its European allies, and the United Nations are pressing ahead, trying to turn a temporary truce into a permanent peace. CBS News correspondent Barry Peterson is on the scene in the Bosnian capital.
America turned up the pressure tonight, positioning more warplanes within striking distance of Bosnia. In Sarajevo, encouraging signs the strikes may not be needed. CBS was shown the latest Bosnian weapons given to the UN. While up in the hills, the Serbs are ever so slowly pulling their heavy arms off the battlefield as well. The UN commander dictated terms. By Sunday, heavy weapons around Sarajevo moved to the control of the UN Protection Force, UNPROFOR. Move them or lose them.
Any heavy weapons there will be either under UNPROFOR control or will be subject to air attack. And it doesn't matter who or which army is in possession of those weapons.
American diplomats in Sarajevo are pursuing a parallel strategy, trying to restart stalled peace talks.
That is the essential message, that the NATO decision is a stimulus for an early negotiated solution and nothing else.
The Serbs kept their bravado and their home fires burning. Barred from the Winter Olympics, they staged their own games, but after an hour, their Olympic flame flickered out. The people of Sarajevo are having better luck. For the first time since the war began, days pass and no one is killed. It is not just the center of the city that is quiet. It is quiet even here in the trenches, on the edge of this urban battlefield. Even here, there is peace. A chance to get sick and wounded out. Relatives left behind once wondered if they would see loved ones again. Now people believe in Sarajevo they will live to see another day. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Sarajevo.
Parts of the United States still look like a war zone tonight after the latest attack of winter weather. In the south, broken power lines will mean a lot of candlelight dinners this Valentine's night. The north is still digging out of the worst snowstorm in years. And as Jacqueline Adams reports, the storms could turn out to be a financial disaster.
Throughout the southeast, crews are working desperately to repair the damage caused by Friday's ice and sleet.